so you can share whatever. So please get your pen, your paper ready. We're going to be speaking about something that's dear to my heart today, and I have another good friend here with me today, Mr. Corey. Mr. Corey is with us. Mr. Corey, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, Corey, Mr. Corey, you does a whole lot at ECU, and today we're talking about the youth entrepreneur, and I know that this have came something to just be our second year working with ECU partners from the crossing of the bridge, working with your guys, but. The work that you do down there is off the chain. So could you just explain to us a little bit, and then we're gonna have a clip come on right behind that, and we're gonna finish talking about that.
Yeah, so I mean, you and I have only been working together for about 2 years now, but this is something that ECU, the Miller School, we've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years. We've been running a summer camp for entrepreneurial-minded or interested students, and the premise behind it was obviously, as you said, I teach at ECU. I've been teaching entrepreneurship for going on 9 years now, and we're a firm believer in creating a strong ecosystem of entrepreneurship in our community. And so we had, a small touch for middle school students. We obviously were teaching high school students. We've got stuff for professionals, for people who are already starting businesses, and there felt like a small little gap there in the high school. And at the time, Mike Harris, the current interim dean, approached us and asked if we would be interested in doing something for high school students, and my hand couldn't have gone up faster. And if we get into that, just because of my history and school being difficult for me, and recognizing second opportunities and being a catalyst and a pusher of those, I wanted to make sure that we could give second opportunities to high school students, and I wanted to be the one who did that. And so. Yeah, we've been doing that for about 7 or 8 years now,
Wow.
running a high school camp in the summertime. Just like any program, it started small. We actually worked our way through COVID and provided it online. We got close to 50 students virtually that year. And then about 3 years ago, it's a one-man, it's a team effort, but you've seen me. I'm the only person in the classroom, and so it makes it a little bit difficult, and we were trying to find ways that we could collaborate with other people. 3 years ago, we tried a different collaboration on campus. It wasn't the perfect fit, and then last year, we found each other, and then we started collaborating that way. It seemed like a really good fit, and the idea, as you've seen, what we try to do is we try to give them what a summer or a class would look like in a semester, and we condense that thing down as hard and as fast as we can to expose them to everything a college student would see entrepreneurial related in 1 week. So it's very packed, it's very fast, and when I say expose, you've seen we try to walk them across campus. We bring in networks, we bring in stakeholders. We try to give them the full exposure of what the entrepreneurship and ECU experience would be. And I'm a little bit biased because I run the program, but I think they really enjoy the class.
Well, we got this clip going to show right now, and then we're going to jump right back into it, just to hear the students that went through the program, and what we're going to hear is their experience. And we want to thank the media, Lynette Taylor, who helped us along with this video clip. This is a lot of playing part. So stand by, just watch this clip here, and we'll be right back.
The program itself, the entrepreneurship camp, really gave me insight.
Definitely inspired something.
Even though it was really just focused on one thing, which is entrepreneur.
In entrepreneurship, Mr. Corey did really well, not just giving us like the business aspect of it, but giving us like the life, character, development skills that we need to be able to sustain as entrepreneurs as well.
The learning lesson was connections. Connections is a big part of business, and you should really put your first foot out there.
It's really opened my mind up to like, I guess, how to start it. I guess starting is like always the hardest part.
I learned stuff about clothes and about like printing things off on a Cricut. I learned things about the little building tools that they had to like build things together. So I think I like it actually. I would most definitely come back again. And the people were very nice.
They fed us. I love my food, so they fed us. And then we had a little hour to get together and be like actual kids.
Who would get something like this big of an opportunity for free? It's like, who would pass that up?
So I guess the camp is very unique because it's not the average business program. It definitely contributes to their target audience as teenagers and high school students.
Definitely come out. It's a great opportunity.
I would say go ahead and get in and do it because you never know what could happen in the future.
Wow. Just to see them talk about their experience, Corey.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lost for words. Once you see them, I'm just like lost for words. Could you explain some of the things you've done with those young ones there?
Not enough time.
Okay.
But I will tell you, so as I said, we try to condense what a college student, and that's the only way I think that I could do it, right? Because I teach college students all day long. Mm-hmm. And so we were thinking, well, how can we want to give them the same taste, one, to use it as a recruiting tool so they can see, oh, wow, this is what I could get if I did other classes and come to ECU. So we condense it as much as we can. And I also understand who we are in the classroom with. Right? I was a high school student, which is why I decided to do this. And so we try to take the most engaging, most fun learning experiences that we can, and those are the things that we hit on. So there's very limited downtime. We have fun interactive activities. For example, I'm not going to get into the theory here, but team building is one of probably the most important things that you need to do when you learn your entrepreneurial journey. And so, each semester we try to switch it up. And last year we did, cornhole to show them like, hey, look, you can learn in any environment. So you think we're just going to come out here and play cornhole, but why did you pick your team member? There's probably if I pick this person, I think I'm going to win because they have those certain skill sets. That same knowledge and that same mentality is going to carry you over to your entrepreneurial world. How are you going to win in business? Mm-hmm. And so it's showing them that they've got some of the toolkit already. Now, how can we do this and apply it to the business side? Mm-hmm. And so, again, limited downtime because we have very limited downtime. It's condensed into a full week. We've got guest speakers who come in from the community because, as I said, that too is important. You have to lean on and leverage your network. Mm-hmm. And so we try to show them that, hey, there's people in your backyard who are already successful. Why don't you lean on them? We obviously try to make it fun and lively. And one of the things that we're doing this year that I'm excited about is we're going to not only bring in guest speakers, but we're going to bring in guest food entrepreneurs who are they're going to double as providing food for the mm-hmm. event, but also they're going to be a part of that network that they can lean on if they want to in the future maybe start their own restaurant or their own business, and they can tap into those people as well. And then the video that we just saw, hopefully you're excited about, that's the most exciting part for me. That's the culmination of the early mornings that you can tell they don't really want to be there. Why am I here? And then Friday is probably my most exhilarating day, exciting day, and you get to see that spark. And that's really what Friday is all about, and the camp really comes to.
First, I want to say thank you because you have like that heart, that compassion. Like you was there every day, and I was there every day, but I wasn't there. I was there, but I was in and out.
You were there, but I was on.
That's a better way to put it. And just to share, to kind of talk about, what would make entrepreneurs so strong, and what was my purpose. It was Mr. Robert Williams and Tom Kolakowski. Mm-hmm. That we kind of got together and kind of had a conversation how we work with youth. And Tom Brown from Brown and Wood Dealership, GMC, he opened his whole slate when we first did it the first year. And Jeff Stearns spoke about the children, about business, and he get them all Chick-fil-A, and we had Miss Diane Taylor and her children, the work that they're doing. So I just want to come a little bit in the history of how the spirit kind of moved me, and knowing that you have that same type of spirit. So we went to the dealership there. We connected with Christy Overton. She did the spirit. We was teaching about business, the nonprofit as well as the profit of business. And there was a young lady from Ryan Army. She's a nonprofit, and it was just something to kind of get the youth into it. And Mr. Wayman Williams from the Housing Authority, he had sent someone from the Housing Authority, and this guy was doing graphic and work at Art Den. And it was like, I knew that God wanted more what this to be done. It was just me, Mr. Robert Williams, and Mr. Tom Kolakowski, working on it. And then Tom connected us with your guys, man. And I say this on air, your guys has been like that shine to help us move this thing to the new level where the work, you're right, they come in, I guess no children want to get up in the morning time, but to see them to move in such a way, your energy, man, your energy and how they kind of connect with you. I tell you, they really connect with you and how you work with them to get them to understand about the business part. And I just want to thank business leaders like Clark Stalin. We have so many of them. Grace, there's so many of people that helps along this project to make this thing happen. And I'm so glad that we're doing it with y'all guys again on a partnership, a second year, as it's free. And the food you guys have for, forget about it. I mean, how do you go to some place when it's free, learning knowledge, the time, the effort, the doors you open up, plus they're getting food?
Yeah.
I mean, and this camp is no charge for that, and for y'all guys to kind of say, hey, we gonna work this here. And the key thing is help them understand business so they can go to that level and go to college and get these things to help them move. And you picked out the 3 stars. All of them were stars now, but these 3 stars, let's talk about the young girl who's into graphic and marketing. I know we don't have a lot of time, but we're gonna try to get all 3 of them in this plug here and let people know how could they be a part of this, because the next class starts is July the 8th to the 12th.
Correct. And
we're going to teach them how you can get online and get your youth that's involved into business. We ain't no babysitting service. I'm tell you right now, we ain't no daycare. You take them to the camps and stuff. These are young ones, because they got to be interviewed, that is serious, that wants to do something to work on business. I say this, I hope this don't hurt no feeling. I know that I went to school, and school didn't teach me nothing about business. That taught me how to get a job. And when I got older, I didn't want no job. And that's why, I had to work, and I worked, but I realized what I need to do to get into entrepreneurs, to do things, to move forward, and that's what I did. So it's really about changing your life, changing your lifestyle, and doing what you like to do. Because success is doing what you love to do and finding somebody to pay you. Everything else is a job, and I don't like no job. So just to get back to you, Corey, just a link of this here. Explain about those 3 that we had on the broadcast, because they were superstars.
Yeah, one was related to Mr. Williams, if I'm not mistaken, and she had the esthetician business. Second one was Isaiah Godley. He was a superstar. I really enjoyed him. And not that I have to do this, but, I'm serious about what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I love making an impact and I got into teaching because a handful of teachers impacted me. And I felt, wow, I'd like to do the same thing to children coming up underneath me as well. And so Isaiah Godley was very impressive. I went to a couple of his basketball games to continue to support him. And I think he's a senior this year at North Central High School right now. And he had a design for a foot brace, whereas if your ankle got hurt, the traditional black and white braces, they're ugly. You don't want to wear those things. And now, granted, it's not a problem for everybody, but he recognized that on the court, while he was playing, it was very obtrusive. It was very ugly. He didn't want to wear it, but if it was different looking, maybe other people would want to wear it. And so but that's where it starts, right? That's where that spark comes and anybody can resonate with this. Any youth watching, any parent watching, any professional watching, is at some point in your life, somebody told you, hey, you're onto something right there. And that gives you that fire that like, oh, maybe I wasn't just doing something I wasn't supposed to do, or maybe this wasn't stupid. And so during the course of that camp, now, and I'm not that person. I'm saying you do have something there. Now, what are we going to do about it? Right? Because there's no, and what I want you and us to resonate to these youth is, yeah, we don't want to babysit, but every person who's listening to this probably has something that they could work on. And so they need to recognize, hey, if I put a little bit of effort into that thing, then it's going to blossom, it's going to grow, and I got to water it, and then it might become something that's magical and an opportunity. But if you don't think you're ready, and you're just going to sit on the couch, and that opportunity is going to pass you by. And so going back to the three is they were superstars because they recognized at that point, I've got something. And then you saw the energy in them, the excitement about it. And so Mr. Godley presented that. And he's an athlete. You remember, basketball player. And so when we played the cornhole, he was like, oh, I'm going to win today. I'm going to get, what do I win? And I was like, it's just a game that we're playing. He's like, no, if I play something, I'm winning. And so when we did the cornhole, he actually did win. And then when we did the pitch at the final show, he volunteered because he felt as if it was a competition, but he'd never presented before. And so you saw the nerves, and he was like, oh, this is a little bit different. I'm like, where's that same guy who said, hey, I'm going to win? And so he did very well on the presentation. We got him connected with a couple people in the room. And then who I really enjoyed was, I believe, Asia Thomas. She had the marketing business, and very impressive from day one. You know, sat in the front row, you know, stayed after, had conversations with all the people who came in and spoke. And what I'm really excited about, this is partially why we do this, is immediately following the camp, reached back out, asked if there's ever, you know, anything she needs, can she use me? And of course, that's what I do this for. And I think I already told you, she's in ECU. She got accepted, so she'll start ECU in this upcoming semester. Is already applying for scholarships, trying to figure out how she can get money. The only downside is she's not going to be an entrepreneurship student. I asked her, I was like, so you're going to do entrepreneurship, right? She was like, no, I think I'm going to do finance or something like that. I'm like, well, at least we have you. At least you're in the system. And so, yeah, they... Not only does it stop with a high school camp, but I use this example with my college students as well, is it frustrates me to no end when a student comes to me and says, I've got an idea, but I don't think it's ready. Well, let me tell you, it's never ready.
Never ready.
You're always going to be wanting to work on it, tweak it, and that's a personal lesson, and hopefully if we can get that spark with them early and sooner to recognize you're never going to be ready. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to work on it. And that's one of the biggest lessons to go from there. And just to backtrack and explain, like you said, my passion for this is, you know, I started my entrepreneurial journey at 18 by complete accident. You know, I almost failed out of high school. I think we're allowed to say this on, you know, camera and radio. You know, I actually got kicked out of ECU at one point, and I told this to everybody who was in that room. And then I finally realized that my effort would be rewarded, and that's what excited me. And so when I came back to ECU, they offered me the opportunity to teach entrepreneurship. Didn't quite realize why I qualified, and I realized that, you know, I've started property ownership at the age of 18. So I had a job, you know, I had credit, I had all that stuff. I was able to buy a property at 18, and I started renting it out right away. And it wasn't until I was 26, 27 when I realized, wow, I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't even know it, right? So, you know, 8 years later, after doing entrepreneurship, running my own small business of a property, it took me that long to realize I'm an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And so some of these students might have something right now. So some of the students in the camp that we were there had already designed a handful of shoes. One of the students had designed shoes, sold them at school, and even at that point, they didn't recognize that they were being entrepreneurial at that time. And so it's that spark that I want them to receive and get to recognize, hey, my work can be rewarding, it can be received, and I can work on this thing, continue watering it, and imagine what it can become.
You know, you said something, I tell you, we would be running out of time. but you said something
I can
that
talk
you were.
forever.
Because you right on. You're an entrepreneur, and like I said, it's not what you don't have; it's what you think you need to stop you. We already have these gifts and talents already in us, and God already given us. It's not about money. But money's not everything, but it sure go up there with oxygen. But the key is that you're working on what you have, and there's so many people don't access their gift, and these young ones have moved access their gift. And I know you're watching on a broadcast, say, well, I hear y'all talking, and how do I get my youth involved with that? Well, there's more than one way. The first way is you can go to the website. Go to this website because I give you the long letters. You may skip a word. Go to ctb2019.org. And down the bottom, you will see in the middle, it says Youth Entrepreneur. Click on that, and then you'll be able to do the application. Application is online. Unfortunately, paper trail kind of move away. Everybody's electronic. I mean, my wife deposited money in the bank. I mean, I try to go to the bank just to say hello to people. She do all online, but we have it online, and it's no cost to none of you. It's free. It's for those who's interested in that, and there's a prize towards the end, because last year we getting better every year. We have to give something towards the end as these winners, and I'll let Corey come back on that part as he closes out. But also you can contact me. If you can't get me on phone, leave a text, voice message. Also send a text, 252-717-9600. That's the way. Let me know if you're interested. But this is a way to get involved. But I tell you, this is something good for the youth to get them involved. We got so many talents. We got people there. Don't let them sit on the couch doing nothing in the summertime. It's 1 week from July the 8th to the 12th. I also want to add, Jason Brown from First Fruit Farm is involved with us. And he like to have the children, this after the program done, they go to the farm because he have his children is entrepreneurs too. They're selling honey at the farmer market, and you don't know nothing. You can easily be the NFL and Rams. Jason Brown, and he's willing to help with that. And it's just going to be an overall of so much information. So as we come into a close on this broadcast, he's going to give you the last part on the timing that he starts and the prizes, and you're all welcome. So for those who listen to this broadcast, get the youth involved. Stop allowing the kids sit there. Don't allow them get involved in the street things that are all dangerous. We got to help them get to where they at. Someone helped me, and I'm quite sure somebody helped you. And that's why we have compassion in helping these young ones get to the next level. And it's going to take a village and us to come together. And when they're in this atmosphere, they're so connected, and they work together as a team. They may don't say nothing the first day, but after that, you can't shut them up. Corey, I'm going to leave the floor to you. We've got about 1 minute left as we shut out.
Yeah, so the camp runs July 8th through the 12th. Traditionally, we have the drop-off. If you're familiar with Greenville, it's going to be right there in the water fountain. So drop-off and pickup is going to be there every morning, every afternoon. I know there's a lot of details, but there's more information out there. You'll get a lot more information if you do sign up on the first day. Drop-off is typically around 8 o'clock. Pickup is usually around 3-ish. And the last day is the only day that's a little bit different, where pickup will be around technically not a pickup, because we invite the parents to come from about 2:30 until close, because that's where the final event is going to be. As you said, it's completely free. We make sure that this opportunity is given to everybody, so anybody can sign up through rising 8th graders all the way through 12th grade. There is going to be a pitch competition this year. Traditionally, we just have a pitch showroom where we have all the poster boards and we walk around. But this year, as Pastor Cole said, we are growing, and so we're looking for monetary opportunities for the students so we can invest in the students' business ideas. And there's going to be a couple other opportunities that we're trying to expand on. So, for example, I think the Boys and Girls Club has said after the event, we'll be able to do something on a Saturday.
Again, Corey, we thank you for being on the broadcast. I know we ran out of time. I'm sorry. Reach out to me. God bless. See you at the next broadcast.